Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
The Nanaimo Bar Trail is expanding yet again. A Nanaimo Bar cocktail from the Corner Bistro is reaching as far as Victoria with a huge connection to the Victoria Film Festival and the art of the cocktail. The final game of the season in the BC Football League at Caledonia Park in search of the perfect steak and possible changes to our national anthem. That and more in the next 30 minutes. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. You have to stir the Nanaimo Bar cocktail, the latest addition to the Nanaimo Bar Trail offered up from the Corner Bistro and Lounge here in Nanaimo. And while we're here, we're going to give a shout out and a congratulations. They took home best use of local ingredients from Friday night's Bite of Nanaimo right here in the Harbor City. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and today we are going to explore the newest addition to the Nanaimo Bar Trail behind the bar here at the Corner Bistro. We're also going to talk about its connection to the art of the cocktail, a major fundraiser taking place in Victoria actually for the film festival there, but it has reaches that go well beyond the capital city. We're going to start off though on Caledonia Field. The final game of the Raiders football season took place on Saturday. We have highlights with you now from Dom Abassi. He is the voice of the Vancouver Island Raiders. Congratulations to the Vancouver Island Raiders taking home the Cullen Cup right here from Nanaimo on Saturday. They are now BC champions. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. It all started with these. The Nanaimo Bar, a simple, historic, deliciously sinful dessert, has grown into one of the most successful marketing tourism ideas to come out in Nanaimo in a long time.
Yeah, it's doing really well, surprisingly. It was just started from an idea that we put together. I think on the original trail there was about 14, and it's now up to 28 on this version, and another 6 are waiting to be on the 2014 version.
On the waiting list. I know we saw Chelsea just several months ago for a road trip series here on Shaw TV, and this brochure had just come out, and already now, as you say, there's 6 waiting to get on the list. One of which is this drink here from the Corner Bistro. It's the Nanaimo Bar cocktail, not to be confused with the Nanaimo Bar martini.
Right.
And I guess the original idea was to bring people to Nanaimo to experience the trail.
Right.
But now it's working the other way around. The trail is starting to outreach into other communities.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. We haven't had the opportunity to take the trail further than sort of bringing folks here, but this is giving us an opportunity to attend some events in other communities and promote Nanaimo bars, promote the trail, participate in some culinary activities to sort of make those connections with other communities. It's exciting. Yeah.
Now the specific one that we're referring to is Art of the Cocktail. It's taking place in Victoria October 26, 27, 28, I think, and it's a big fundraiser for the Victoria Film Festival. And some people might be wondering, well, what does that have to do with Nanaimo?
Right.
But coming from a tourism perspective, working and building these relationships is pretty important.
Oh, absolutely. And our own market on Vancouver Island is a huge draw for us. So not only are we hoping tourists from outside of Vancouver Island come here, but our own Vancouver Island residents come to Nanaimo to try these things as well. So it just makes sense to participate. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so what isn't on the list? What isn't on the Nanaimo Bar Trail? If we want to give some people some ideas out there, I know we have pedicures now, and obviously cocktails, and
yeah, there's a few coffee shops that have contacted us that are doing their unique version. One of them is in Departure Bay, and they do a beautiful Nanaimo bar, the traditional Nanaimo bar, but have a sand dollar on top of it for the Sand Dollar Cafe. There's another couple delis that want to come on board with their traditional version as well, a couple nut-free versions because of the nut allergies out there. So people are just tweaking little things to be able to have a unique version to participate. So nothing totally outside the box that I can announce just yet, but definitely 6 people all keen to participate.
Excellent. I've got my ideas brain churning right now. A Nanaimo Bar pie or a Nanaimo Bar cake or something like that. Anyways,
tart,
we'll leave a tart. We'll leave that up to the people out there, and they can contact you if they want to participate in the Nanaimo Bar Trail. We're going to take a short break here on Go Island. When we come back, we'll look into the event, the Art of the Cocktail, the Victoria Film Festival, and we're going to show you how to make one of these delicious drinks. Still to come today on Go, a walk through Ammonite Falls, and vegetarians avert your eyes. We're searching for the perfect steak. That and more still to come.
Did you know, on average, per firefighter in the city of Nanaimo would do more fire-related incidents than a big city such as Vancouver, as we do close to 7,000 calls a year.
You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're one step closer to sharing the ingredients inside the new Nanaimo Bar cocktail that's coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, we're heading down to Victoria. James Green is looking into some potential changes to the Canadian anthem. Not sure how I feel about that one. Sitting on the fence. Maybe what we need is a Nanaimo Bar cocktail to help us decide. This is Sonia Coman. She is the bartender extraordinaire here at the Corner Bistro as well as the Corner Lounge, and they're the inventors of the latest addition to the Nanaimo Bar Trail. And how do you make a drink, Sonia, taste like a Nanaimo Bar?
Well, you take a whole bunch of booze and you put it all together.
Simple and to the point. What are you putting in it? Make one for us.
All right. Well, first, we're going to be using our locally distilled Stillmaster's vodka.
Okay. Now, everyone has a lot of talk lately about using local ingredients, and the Corner Bistro just won at the Bite of Nanaimo for use of local ingredients. We can apply that to what we eat, but I guess we can start applying that to what we drink now as well.
You sure can.
So what are you adding now?
Well, we're going to add a little bit of the avocado just for the custardy part.
Okay, the custardy. So this is no less calories than a real Nanaimo bar either,
No,
is it?
It's pretty full of calories.
When you're inventing a drink, what are some of the things that you consider?
Flavor, sweetness, not so sweet, you know. But this is a dessert cocktail, so it will be somewhat sweet.
So you wouldn't want to have any more than about 8?
Maybe 10.
Okay, so what are you putting in there now? You got to take us through step by step.
Dark cacao, because we want the layers. We want it to look also like a Nanaimo bar.
Okay.
So we put the dark cacao at the bottom. So
then the ice. I know that when you're building a drink, that's as important as what you're putting in it.
That's right. So you take a shaker.
Now
and just to thin out the avocado a little bit because it is quite thick.
Okay.
So you put it in the shaker, shake it all up.
What was the process like inventing this? How many little sips and samples and tasters did you have to go through before you knew that you had it just right?
I was recovering for about 5 days.
Okay, so that's thinned out now that it's been shaken.
Yeah, and then it layers nicely. And then just for the nuts part, just throw on a couple of walnuts on top.
Okay, and this is the drink that you're entering into a competition coming up in Victoria, the Art of the Cocktail?
We are.
Okay, and you have pretty high hopes of?
I sure do.
Of course.
I'm confident.
Pretty confident.
I only served a few up today.
We're going to talk specifically about that event later on this edition of Go Island, how it connects to the Victoria Film Festival and how we can cheer on Nanaimo's expansion of the Nanaimo Bar Trail. But first, it's time for Take a Walk on a trail of an entirely different kind. Kelly Robinson strolls through Ammonite Falls. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're talking about Nanaimo Bar cocktails. We're talking about the Nanaimo Bar Trail. We're talking about the Corner Bistro doing very well at the recent Bite of Nanaimo here in the Harbor City. And we're talking about the Victoria Film Festival. There is a connection between all 4 of those things. Kathy Kay is the director of the Victoria Film Festival, and you've been really proactively reaching out to the rest of the island.
Very much so. We have a program that we do called Film Canon. It's about students making short films that if they win the competition, they get to screen at the film festival, and that stretches all the way up. And last year, a student from Port Alberni won. And before that, it was a student from Salt Springs. So I think, you know, we really do reach up, and there's all kinds of film clubs up this, you know, up the island. And you know, a lot of those people come down to see the, you know, more interesting films down in Victoria when the film festival's on. So we really do try. And now we're having Nanaimo come to the Art of the Cocktail.
Excellent. Now the film festival is going to be celebrating 20 years this year. I went down for the event last year. It's absolutely fabulous. 5 years of the Art of the Cocktail,
Yes.
a major fundraiser for you, and that's where the Corner Bistro and the Nanaimo Bar Cocktail come in.
It is. Yep. They're going to be, for the first time, Nanaimo's going to have presence at the Grand Tasting, and at the end of the Grand Tasting, whoever is, has had the most cocktails bought is the winner of Best Cocktail for the Grand Tasting.
I think all of this talk is really exemplifying the fact about how film can really, we talk about the economic impact, we talk about involving community, and this is really an example on how far it reaches out to enhance not only the economy but building relationships in a region like the island.
Yeah, very much so, and I think you want to have lots of things happening in all parts of the island. You don't want to just, it's not just community centric. It's, what's going on in Comox, what's going on in, Campbell River, what's going on in Victoria. It just makes it more a full life.
Yeah, the Malahat's not that scary. To go from Victoria to the rest of the island, the Malahat's nothing. For those who don't know, talk a bit about the caliber of films that people can experience at the festival every year.
Well, we've had a lot of great films that go on to win awards, and we bring in filmmakers as well from all parts of the country. Guy Madden, who's an iconic Winnipeg director, he comes and he screens his films there, and Isabella Rossellini's in them, and it's just, they're really high quality. We get about 1,200 entries, and we cull those down to 150. Yeah. So we're bringing you the best.
And that's in February, is that right?
It is in February.
Okay. I feel like we're just getting started in a conversation about film, and no doubt this conversation will continue in future editions of Go Island and future stories as well. We're switching directions entirely now, or maybe not, because if you're drinking cocktails, maybe you're eating. Steak might be on the menu. Paul Beilstein now heads out in a hunt or a search of the best steak, and if you're vegetarian, divert your eyes now. You don't want to see this. Paul, why is there even any doubt that steak is coming to my house? That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Just a quick mention on something completely unrelated before we sign off for today. The Regional District of Nanaimo is hosting a neighborhood preparedness workshop on Saturday, October the 26th at Nanoose Place. The concept basically is to bring neighborhood volunteers together, working towards self-resilience in case of a natural disaster. And you can still register for that workshop or get more information. I'm going to give you an email address on that now. Be ready at rdn.bc.ca, or you can use the old-fashioned telephone and give them a call, 250-390-6541. One final note before we go, Art of the Cocktail. Nanaimo is competing this year for the first time. artofthecocktail.ca for full details. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. We'll see you next time.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.